Hey everybody, welcome to the next episode of the Strand Tennis Center podcast, filled with tips, advice, tennis, not tennis, just life advice too, whatever you need. Like it on YouTube, share it on the podcast as well. Thank you. All right. Hey everybody, welcome to the Strand Tennis Center podcast. I'm Steve Capo. I'm your host. That's Nora waving in the background.
Hello.
But before we get into Nora, I wanted to make a little update. As we did a little Will Smith update, I had to do an update. 2 seconds on this, Nora. Will Smith got his ruling, right, from the... they were waiting till April 18th, but they decided not to because it was very important. The board or whatever at the Oscars said that Will Smith... Did you hear what happened, Santi?
No.
He got banned for 10 years.
From the Oscars?
From the Oscars.
Wow.
So, when I was thinking, is that really a punishment for hitting somebody in the head? So what I'm saying is, what Will Smith can't do. He can't dress up and go to the Oscars. Poor little Will Smith can't go and go to the Oscars. Who cares?
He's nominated for something.
So he's got to watch it in his pajamas, and he gets the award. Big deal. He doesn't get to go to a party. Is that punishment? Does anybody think that's punishment? Nora?
I think it's punishment.
You think
but
it is?
Yeah.
He doesn't get to go to the prom of the Oscars? I don't think that's a
I
punishment
think
enough.
it's considered a punishment, but like...
But I don't think in real world it is. He doesn't get to go to this gala, this huge thing, this
But
function.
it's not real world. They're celebrities.
That's what I'm saying. It's not real world.
So, like...
So it's not real world. So you can hit someone in the face, don't get charged, nothing happens, you just don't get to go to the party for 10 years.
Well...
I don't buy it, Nora.
In that safe sport contact.
In that safe sport contact. Okay, so I just want to update. I don't think that's a punishment. I don't think there's any type of teeth to that, but that's just me. Anyways. So, Nora, we're going to discuss here at the Strand Tennis Center, even if the phone rings, we will continue. You don't have to answer it because we need your expertise here. You've been working as kind of, as we call an associate, teaching, doing a lot of trade. Usually an associate here who's just starting out does a lot of... And this is going to be quick because we only have 10 minutes of this podcast, so we have to get this one in. We're short on time. An associate kind of does everything. They learn to answer the phone. They learn to do inventory. They learn to do odd stuff, even the garbage, all that stuff. But it's also learning the fundamental skills of teaching a lesson for the beginner. So what do you think you've learned about teaching a lesson to somebody just starting? Kids, obviously, beginners. What do you think?
I think I had to learn that not everyone learns in like the same way that I learn. Like there are people that learn from like me first showing them how to hit a stroke, and then they like them just like trying to follow what I do. Or there's kids that need like step-by-step verbal instruction on how to, first I hit a forehander, hit a backhander, anything like that.
So some are visual learners and some are audible and they need to be told. Some people just need to see it and they're good mimics and they see you hit it and it helps.
Yeah.
In your overall, if you can, this is probably a tough one. What do you think? Is it 50-50 or more people visual learners? More people like to hear what you have to say audibly? What do you think, correction-wise?
I think it's 50-50, but I also just think like if a student's not motivated and you're not motivating them to like do their best, they're just not gonna like carry their way. And sometimes like, especially for like the little kids that are just starting out that are like, let's say 4 to 6, you have to learn how to motivate them and show them that them doing tennis is gonna help them. And that's like what I've learned that can help make the lesson go smoother for them.
What about, then I'll ask you, Siri, these are almost, some of these are some of the questions we asked in interviews, Santi, but she'll probably know them pretty well. How do you handle a kid that just has a bad attitude in the group? Well, how do you think you got to handle that one?
That's a good question. I think, honestly, like, depending on the age, like, I can be, like, more straight up with them and be like, hey, you're very lucky that you get to be here playing tennis and that your parents are most likely paying for a lesson. And if you're not going to take, like, everything that you can from this class, then, like, that's your loss. But say if it's like a younger kid, then I'm just going to, like, again, just try to motivate them and show them that they can have a good time if they just work hard and play.
Well, that lends me to believe why we're here. So I can tell you what we're not here for. We're not here. This is what, if you're looking to have your kid, boy, feel like they're the greatest kid ever, feel like they should be treated better than everyone else, and you want distinct results and goals set and say, I want my kid to play at Harvard, and I want that from you, and I want that as quickly as I can, we're not for you.
Yeah.
We're just not. That would be silly for us to say we can do that, and any coach who says they can is just lying to you to get money. So we're not that. We're not going to yes a parent to death. We're not going to guarantee results when they're not. Any parent that comes in here and asks for results, I say, we're probably not for you, but this is what I will tell you. It all depends on the student. It all depends on what they want to give and what they want to put out.
Attitude and effort.
Attitude and effort. You're right. That's so great. See, they're programmed, Santi. See the associate? She knows what I'm going to say. She's programmed. So there's a lot of people we're not for. We're not for people that want to feel entitled, want like scholarship money, want to feel like, oh, I want to play whenever I want, and I want, to only play with these 4 people. We just don't go for that type of behavior. Mm-hmm. We go for people that earn their stripes, they work hard, and hopefully it all depends on how things go for them and how much, again, they put in, whether they can get a result. We're not that kind of club. We are not that kind of place, and there's many clubs that'll do that. They'll try to get the 5 best players in the state, put them on the court, and go, okay, let's have them watch all these kids, and have all these kids say, oh, I want to be that good. Meanwhile, I'm charging them nothing, and I'm charging the other kids double because I know they're paying for the club. It just doesn't work that way. Clubs have been organized that. They have the 5 scholarship players. They give them whatever they want, and everybody else is paying the bills for them. We just don't do that here. We're not for that. We won't give you a scholarship. It's just not going to happen because, quite frankly, there's plenty of people here that are nicer, that want to work harder, and just want to make their school team. That's much more rewarding than getting one elite person to go to, Stanford. Or even play pro. That just doesn't interest us. We're not interested in that type of... I always say high performance is usually high maintenance. It's 2 different highs. They're not good. They come together. It's not very good. So, being that, what's the best student that you like working with? Nora,
I just think a student that tries to make other students laugh, say just picking up the balls. If one student cracks a joke, but they're still picking up. Those are the type of students that make other students want to come, and that just builds a positive environment. And when you're in a positive environment and one that you can feel safe in, then you're obviously just gonna feel more confident. And if you're confident, that just makes you better at everything, as long as you're not cocky.
Well, tennis is life, right? So that's why this place, most people are not going to be professional. It's going to be 0.1%. So what you just said right there is perfect. If all the kids can feel better about themselves, feel good about where they are, it creates confidence in life. And then they can go in life and go to that job and go, oh, I've gotten a lot of self-worth. I can do this, and I can do this. I can do this next challenge and that next challenge. If you're into that, if you're into feeling better about yourself and working hard to do it, to create self-worth, that's what we're here for. And then we're the club for you for that. Because we're going to teach you a sport, but in teaching that sport, we're going to teach you the tools of a successful life. Because if you can put the building blocks together, achieve something on the court, it's a complete mirror to life. And we're going to give you all those tools. And that's why Nora's great, because she believes in all that, and she's done, and we had her on the podcast before, and she's achieved a lot of things in high school that are hugely successful for her and give her a lot of self-confidence and make her go out. And I shouldn't be talking for you, but you're right? I've definitely
learned how to handle myself in stressful situations from coaching. I've learned that I need to put an effort if I want to have a top spot on my team. But I've also learned that, hey, if I'm not top spot, or that I just have to work harder for it next time, and that 2, it's not the end of the world. And I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Nothing ever lasts, right?
Yeah.
Whether you have a bad result
good
or a
bad.
good one, nothing ever lasts. That's a big key for everybody to remember. Nothing is as good as it is, and nothing is as bad as it is. So stick with that. Hey, Sam. Don't run into rackets and make a ruckus during the podcast, Sam. We are creating Leaders. So what the last part about a lesson is what I like to do is to reverse engineer what the lesson is. So you ask what the person's goal is, right?
Yeah.
So you ask their goal and you reverse engineer a plan around them, and that's the big thing. You don't create, and that's what we were talking about value on the podcast last week, is you're not trying to go, okay, this is the form of the lesson, blah, blah, blah. I ask them what their goals is, and then the lesson can be totally different than anybody else's lesson because you're reverse engineering the program. And that's how you develop a program for something. You figure out what they want and what they are. Some people, just want to make the JV. So I'm not going to sit here and do wind sprints with them. You know what I mean? A lot of people they want to win a USTA tournament, so we have to do this, right? Everybody's different. You cannot paint the same brush with everybody.
Yeah.
Anything else about a lesson any observations that you think, any challenges, any rewarding things that you had during a lesson that you felt like, oh, but this kid got better?
I actually wanted to mention something a little different.
Good.
A long time ago, you said there's this many weeks in a year, blah blah blah, and you said from that, you saying that, I learned that a lot of people overestimate what they can do in a long period of time, and they try to spread everything out, but then they underestimate what they can do in a short period of time. And if you just make yourself 1% better every single week, then by the end of the year, you're gonna be however many weeks.
52% better.
52% better than you were last year.
She's amazing how she. Hi, Chris. It's all right. Come on, Chris. It's a party.
party
We're
in here.
discussing about progress. But you're right. I did say that. That's funny.
That
But,
was 3 years ago.
yeah, people, and it's amazing to remember, people underestimate what they can do. Again, they overestimate, I think what you're saying, what they can do in this short period of time. They go,
overestimate long period of time, underestimate short period of time.
No, I think it's the opposite.
Really?
But I think it's the
Oh,
opposite.
no.
What happens is the
I said it
opposite is
wrong.
they overestimate. They go, I want to be number one singles in a month. And then they underestimate what they can do in 3 years. And they go, that's going to take too long. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Usually that's what it is. But I think you got the core of it right. You just flipped it, but
I flipped it a little
because
bit.
people, that's when parents come in. Then we're not for those parents when they go, I want my kid to play number one in 6 months. I'm like, you're overestimating that. How about 5 years, and maybe they can play number 3 in college. And they go, well, that's too long. I can't do that. So that's what you have to do. Everything takes 8 or 10 years. If you really want to be successful, you've been playing since how old are you? 16?
Yeah, I'm 16.
You've been playing since you were 7, 6, right?
No, 9.
So it's close. You're almost there. And you're playing varsity, you're playing singles. You'll probably play number 1 next year. You know what I mean? So those kind of things happen, right? So don't underestimate an 8 or 10 year window of being successful. We talked about this in the podcast a while ago. I forget who was the number 3 for Facebook. He started another company. He said, if you want to be successful in anything, it'll take 10 years. 10 years. So that's what we are here for. If you're looking for quick fixes at the Strand, you will not get quick fixes. It will not happen. You are going to have to take your time. You're going to have to work at it. And you have to be patient. If you're into that, we are for you. But I appreciate being on the podcast. Thanks
you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the week.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Hope you like the podcast. Please share it with your friends, anybody that you know, anybody that's into tennis, anybody that's into bettering themselves. Share it.